as NASA reveals astonishing images of the sun, missing pieces. Physicist claims that NASA is covering up sun being drained by plasma-eating objects. We've all seen strange, puzzling things on YouTube and NASA images. NASA's SOHO and other satellites that monitor the sun give us these images. Could this be proof that we're onto something? Express UK reports NASA must allow the public live access to cameras trained on the sun. A professor of physics has declared, as she accuses the space agency of a cover-up amid claims a system of stars are feeding on the sun. Yes, a system of stars are feeding on the sun? In other words, celestial bodies are eating on the sun? Physicist Dr. Claudia Alberts has staggeringly claimed a system of old dying stars has entered the solar system and are feeding on our sun. She calls on NASA to allow the public access to real-time access to the footage, as she suggests the space agency might have something to hide. Dr. Albert's theory appears to be based on circular shapes she's seen in the star's halo in close-up images of the sun taken by NASA's Solar and Heliospheric Observatory, SOHO for short, which is a huge telescope camera in space. Mainstream scientists say these spheres are just camera glitches, but Dr. Alberts is convinced they're dying stars approaching our sun. Alberts made a plea to NASA to allow unrestricted access to the live stream of SOHO camera if there was nothing to hide. She said, if there's nothing to hide, then give us the real-time view of the sun. If there is nothing to hide, then open it up. Why do you only give us little snippets with a huge delay? Dr. Alberts wrote a number of books on the subject, including Planet X, The Awakening Now. NASA scientists have, since the 80s, been saying that there's theoretically another planet at the edge of our solar system, but it has yet to be conclusively proven. Now, if there is, it poses no threat to Earth and it will come nowhere near us, they say. In a YouTube video made with fellow researcher Scott Sion, she said, there are old or dead stars. I never said they were planets. They are stars draining the sun of energy. She said it's like a huge system of old dead suns that have come to the sun and been affected by it. They're making plasma connections with the sun and can make the sun go dark, and the sun is getting weaker. Dr. Alberts is part of the Planet X or Nibiru Believement movement. She has her own unusual take on what Planet X is. Most Nibiru believers follow theory that a mini solar system consisting of a sun, planets, and moons is lurking at the edge of our solar system with a huge orbit of the sun. And they're convinced that rogue system is making its way from the outer solar system inwards towards us, where it will wreak havoc on Earth as it passes at about 4 million miles away, but causes the poles to switch and great earthquakes and volcanic eruptions to take place. Dr. Alberts does not think what is happening at our sun. She's connected to the original myth of Nibiru. She said there is no evidence this system is the same system that came through before. However, she agrees that the foreign visitors to our solar system could cause seismic activity on Earth. And she says these objects are causing changes in the solar system that cause earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. She even has an unusual theory that one of the objects is now orbiting our planet and many more are around Jupiter. Albert says Earth appears to have captured one of these objects. There are crustal displacements on Earth. It's not a passing system. It is an orbit around the Earth. It is huge. It's a huge system of stars attracted to the sun, and that stays close to the sun once it is in our solar system. And she goes on to explain, I recently discovered that they may have gone from the sun to planets, and that may be why Jupiter went from 16 satellites to 69. It must have captured something. In an earlier video, Dr. Albert said, it seems that the object is here and it is not alone because there is evidence that there are many of these objects in the inner solar system and they have been coming in towards the sun for many years. She went on to say the interstellar bodies make magnetic connections with the sun and create coronal holes, and she claims this would weaken the sun and create more solar storms that will impact our Earth. Dr. Alberts resigned from the university last July. University bosses have since moved to distance themselves from her theories. They don't agree with her, that is. Now, Professor Joa A.P. Rodriguez, head of the School of Physics, said in a statement, quote, "The university has recently become aware of various public assertions purported to suggest that there may be a brown dwarf star in the inner solar system. The university supports the freedom of people to hold and discuss contrarian views. However, insofar as the sciences are concerned, the principle of the scientific method must guide the process. Debate outside this framework constitutes bad science, and the university distanced itself from such practice." NASA's Dr. David Morrison said, quote, "There is no credible evidence whatever for the existence of Nibiru. There are no pictures, no tracking, no astronomical observations. I can quite specifically say how we know Planet X or Nibiru does not exist and does not threaten the Earth. Firstly, if there was a planet headed into our inner solar system that was going to come close to the Earth, it would already be inside the orbit of Mars. It would be bright, it would be easily visible to the naked eye, and if it was up there, it would be easy to see. All of us would be able to see it." This according to John Austin, Express UK, and it's on Bended Reality. Now, as far as this other image of the sun, a SOHO image showing some kind of a round object around the 7 o'clock position with some kind of a filament attached to the sun, there are those who claim that this is a UFO somehow sucking the energy of the sun. However, NASA says that this is a solar prominence. This is some kind of a coronal mass ejection solar prominence, and that it's not a mothership or UFO or anything like that. So this is the explanation that NASA gives for this particular image, which has been circulating for quite a number of years, and had UFO enthusiasts and UFO hunters thinking that it was a huge mothership sucking energy from the sun, because as we would see the video, it then detaches itself from the sun and takes off from there. And again, this is the hole that was recently seen above the sun, a whole chunk taken off, as you can see. Now, as far as the solar prominence, a little known fact, scientists from NASA said the feature is actually a little understood but frequently observed. It's a type of solar activity called a prominence, and the way it's situated beneath another solar feature gives it its otherworldly appearance. The thread extending from the lower left edge of the sun in the video is known as a prominence, and the feature containing cooler, denser plasma than the surrounding 3.5 million degree Fahrenheit corona of the sun. This is what Joseph Gurman explains. He's project scientist at the Solar Physics Laboratory at NASA Goddard, and it's not yet known exactly how prominences develop, but these dense plasma loops can extend from the surface of the sun thousands of miles into space. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece. in Capotin, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.